Hey everyone, welcome to this presentation. Today we're going to be joined by Owen Davis from Leifield Real Estate. He's going to talk to us about the property management solution that his company offers and how it might work exactly or fill that niche exactly for what you're looking for. I do want to throw in a little bit of a disclaimer that this is an option for you. It's in no way mandatory for you to be involved in this, but it might suit exactly what you want. Any figures that we talk about are for examples only, and you may experience a different outcome based on your willingness to engage the platform and to work at it. So, Owen, welcome. Welcome
Thank you,
to,
Rob.
I know Owen's like, disclaimers, what's going on? But anyway, it's something that we have to do in the modern world. So anyway, it's all good.
No,
Owen,
absolutely fine and agree with all of it.
yeah, so Owen, just tell us a little bit about your company, where you're operational, like what states you're operating in, because there
Yeah,
might
sure.
be agents that see this video that are in different states to where I'm currently located.
Yeah, sure. It's so Leifield Real Estate started off 15 years ago off the back of my mortgage broking business. And I was a frustrated mortgage broker with with investors who weren't being looked after properly by their local agents. So that was the reason for starting it. The name Leifield came about in 2016. And when I sold out of my mortgage broking business, and because I found there was a huge demand for what we were doing, and it was at that stage I was based in Sydney and started the business there, and then we started in Brisbane at that stage in 2016, then expanded to Melbourne in 2018, and now in Perth as of earlier this year.
Yeah,
And it's going great guns. Thanks
yeah,
to yourself and the EXP team over there.
yeah, no, fantastic, fantastic. And just talk to us a little bit about your model. So you're like EXP, you're a cloud-based model. With real people, but saving costs for clients through the cloud, basically.
Yeah, sure. Would it be okay if I share my screen here,
Yeah,
Rob?
absolutely. Yep.
All right. I'll see if I can make this work. And you might see a familiar face in part of this sharing experience.
Yep.
And can you see that screen now?
Yep. Yep. We certainly can.
Fantastic. So as I explained there, we've got Leifield Real Estate specialist property management business for the property investor. And we do, one thing people always ask, is it just residential or people assume we're only commercial? We do both, predominantly residential, but definitely looking for more commercial property.
Okay, great.
Currently in these 4 states, as I already mentioned, which 228 suburbs. So in covering all of Greater Perth area and now Exmouth, and on the halfway up the WA coast. I think it's about there. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And but there's Melbourne Metro. In New South Wales, we cover all of Sydney Metro, the Central Coast, Newcastle and Hunter Valley regions. In Queensland, all of southeast Queensland out to Toowoomba, down through the Gold Coast and up through the Sunshine Coast, as well as earlier this year, Townsville. And I can now announce Gladstone and Hervey Bay areas that we can cover.
That's great.
Now,
So it's really growing well.
yes. And I think next year we'd probably be looking at Adelaide as our next expansion point. But to cover off your last question there of how we do this, now we have a portfolio manager. So this person who sits in the middle here, and that is the dedicated person who communicates with the client regarding all their property management needs for any property they may own, regardless of its location. So for the property investor who, about a third of our clients have 3 or more properties, and the majority of them own those properties across multiple states. So it's really beneficial for them to have that central portfolio manager. So they've only ever got the one person to talk to.
So it doesn't matter whether they've got a property in Melbourne, if they got one in Toowoomba, if they've got one in Sydney and in Perth, that they're dealing with one person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Always the one person, and that portfolio manager acts like air traffic control. They're there sitting behind the computer screen on the phone all day, every day, and their job is to make sure that everything that happens on the ground happens smoothly. And they're a senior property manager with years, if not decades, of experience. And their job is to make sure that they talk to the client, they talk to the tenant, they talk to any trades on the ground. They can also talk to yourselves as the referral partners. But more importantly, they also communicate with our ground crew. Now, ground crew are the ones that, and we have ground crew wherever we're located. And they will be everything from full-time staff all the way through to casuals, part-timers, and even contractors, and even sometimes some of our partner agents on the ground who have property management experience will help out as well. But the ground crew, they do the opening of properties to prospective tenants. They're conducting the ingoing, outgoing, and routine inspections, including all of the reports, and handing over of any property to new tenants. So those and all of that is done within our software. So it's all handled by the portfolio manager, or always checked by the portfolio manager to make sure everything's done to our standards and nothing goes out without their approval. And then everything else gets done by either the portfolio manager or other admin staff that we have, all within our software.
Yep.
Now, would you like me to go through our fee structure as well while we're here?
Yep. I think that's a great.
Yeah, because we're a little bit different in terms of having to cover a wide range of areas across the country. I needed to come up with a bit of a unique fee structure. And as you might see, especially for WA, our management fee looks quite low at 3.95%, which is calculated on the rent collected. But then we have a much higher than normal monthly admin fee at $49. So for your average, say $600 a week property, that's up in the 6% mark. So when you work it out as a comparison rate.
Right.
So which I know still for WA is on the lower end of fees. But when we look at all markets across the country and what we need to be able to do as a business, to be able to run a business, it works effectively for everyone, and more importantly for us to be able to run a business. And for clients with multiple properties, we do even discount this monthly admin fee. So that's something to consider. We then have the two-week letting fee, which is fully inclusive of all of the advertising costs, including professional photos, everything that's required to be able to get the property leased as quickly as possible. We have some other minor fees as well, but we market all the properties on realestate.com, Domain, and all of the other major websites as well to get it leased as quickly as possible. Talked about professional photos, and I'll come back to that if we need to. But we work exclusively, we don't have a retail shop front anywhere. We work exclusively with referral partners like sales agents, like buyers agents, and mortgage brokers, even other property managers. And so that's why I'm here talking to yourselves.
Oh, that's great, Owen. Thanks for that.
We know who this guy is.
That's right. And so that's how what the client gets. Now, maybe you can share with us a little bit about how an agent can get involved. Now, obviously, there's people that have their full licenses, there's people that are sales representatives and whatnot. What are the requirements that they need to do to actually participate with Leifield as a referral partner?
Yeah, to participate, you need to be licensed in some way, either certificate holder or licensed in some way, and have that experience. But effectively, you need to be a working agent. And then we have an agreement between our business and yours as individuals. And what that means is you can actually have an ownership of the rent roll that you refer to us. So everything is still in our name. So we hold all the liability. It works no differently to any other referral relationship that you might have been, in terms of you hand over the details, in terms of a name and number. In fact, we set up a page exactly like the one I just showed you, which is why we had proudly partnered with Rob Davis there.
Yeah.
And it's and that enables you to just be able to send them a link and say, hey, check out the our property management offering with Leifield. And if you're happy to go ahead, click on the link to fill out the form. And
it's really user friendly in my experience. Just literally send them the landing page link. They read through it, and then there's a call to action, ready to move forward, and then they can start filling in their details.
Yes. So it's been years in the making, and we keep on refining and refining. Or always happy to get feedback of how we could improve the process.
Yeah.
But we wanted to make it basically a one-page link that provides you with a sales tool to be able to help you grow a rent roll asset for yourself. All you need to do is send that through, and with the agreement that we hold, you actually we give you ownership of all of the properties that you refer to us, and that's no matter where they are in the country. And with that as well, on top of that, you get a trail income. So you get a percentage of the management fees of that 3.95%, which means for multiple properties, I can discount that admin fee as much as I need to win the business. But that won't affect your income. So it starts off at 10% of the management fees, and then once you start growing and building more properties, once you get more than 15 properties, that increases to 15%. And then for 40 or more properties, it goes to 20%. And if you get to 100, it then increases by 2% for every 100 properties and maxes out at 30% for 500 plus.
Yeah.
Now, that might sound like a lot of properties right now. And it certainly is. But one way of being able to help you get to those higher percentages, to be able to earn more on your volume of properties, is to be able to help refer other sales agents or buyers agents, any other licensed agent, in fact, to be able to do the same as you and provide them with the same opportunity to be able to grow a rent roll asset. For example, we recently had a sales agent in WA, in Perth. They had a buyer's agent who was based in Sydney that they were working with to be able to buy a property for the buyer's agent's client in Perth, which happened successfully. And the buyer's agent is now signed up as a referral partner and starting to build a rent roll for themselves as well. Now, the benefit to you to be able to, for doing that, is that any volume that buyer's agent or any other licensed agent that they might bring in for themselves, that'll actually add to your team total so that you can, so it pushes you up to that next percentage level, so that if you're on, let's call it 30 properties and you're earning currently 15%, and you have two agents who bring in a total of 10 properties themselves under their portfolio, that'll push you up into the 20% earning bracket. So you'll be earning 20% on your 30 properties, but then there's a 10% difference between what you're earning and what these new agents are earning on their 5 or 10 properties. And so you can actually earn that difference, that 10% difference on those 10 properties that those other agents have brought in. So it's a way of building a team. Everyone's in there to be able to help provide more volume, and it helps everyone. So it's a no-lose situation for everyone.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And I think you've explained that quite well. And for those that are watching this video that are connected with EXP, it'll be very similar in a way to our revenue share program. So it's a thank you gift for helping expand the Leifield story, and increasing the partnerships, referral partners they've got across Australia. Because obviously the more properties that are under management, the more the company grows. So that's really good. That's very good. And so just to confirm, so if someone has their full license in whatever state they might be, that's a no-brainer. They can partner straight away. If they hold a sales registration, they can have a ABN with that sales registration and then enter into an agreement with Leifield. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's possible. We just need to have a discussion first to understand exactly what their structure is. So
yeah. Perfect. Very good. And anything else that we need to know about? What's the average client like? You said that you've had, maybe a third of your clients own properties in multiple states. Are they just investors mainly? That obviously they're investors, but
obviously all investors. And well, we started off in Sydney, so it's definitely still our biggest state. And Queensland is not far behind. I'll tell you what though, since we haven't even been operating in Perth or WA for even 12 months, but you're pretty much going to take over Melbourne at this point.
That's good. We like that.
Yeah. So trying to get some more Melbourne people to be able to build that up, but that'll happen. But yes, average invest, because we're working with a lot of buyers agents and investor groups. We do have a lot of clients with multiple properties that are spread out all over, and that's probably the key difference that people like about our particular service. And in terms of the single investor though, we've still provide a good service. It's no different. But more importantly, they've got a senior person to talk to. There's not that churn and turnover that you find in a lot of local agencies that might have the young property managers who are still learning, still working out whether they want to be in the industry or not.
Still making mistakes.
And we certainly have have staff that are working with us like that. But they're part of our ground crew or part of our back end admin team who are learning. And but they shouldn't be the final decision makers in my mind, and that's why I wanted to have that business model where it was that central portfolio manager. It's really no different to a senior property manager in a large agency that you might have dealt with before, where they'll have a large team working in the same office. But that senior property manager is based in the office all the time, and they're the ones fixing problems, maintaining relationships, and managing the team. So.
Yeah, no, that's good. And just for those in WA that might be watching this video, documentation being used by Leifield is REWA documentation. So that's gives us peace of mind. Victoria, do you have any questions?
No, I think I'm getting my head around everything. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I just thought I'd ask if you have any questions. It's a pretty straightforward concept, Owen, and we appreciate you taking your time today to just kind of provide a video reference point for agents as they are coming to EXP or maybe other places, and they're looking for opportunities. Where can my clients go where they'll get good service, they'll be looked after financially, they'll be looked after, and also that I can take advantage of partnering with someone as a referral partner. So it's an excellent opportunity for people. There's lots of different options out there, but I've been working with Leifield now for quite some time, and it's been pretty straightforward and streamlined, and no smoke and mirrors, which I love, because sometimes you get that smoke and mirror thing. This is what we say we do, and then it's something else completely different. So yeah, no, that's good. Oh, and
we try. We are human, and always open to feedback, and but we just want to get a good result for the client, and which will in turn provide a good result for our referral partners like yourselves.
Cool. And so just to recap, if you already are partnered with Leifield, just make sure that you keep your ear to the ground. There might be other agents that you encounter either through a conjunctional or, as was mentioned, a buyer's agent, whatnot, that this might be a really good opportunity for them to create some passive income, to have their clients looked after, and it might just help you along the way as well. So that's good. Good. Any other final comments, Owen?
No, that we pretty much covered it. You're a great interviewer, Rob. Yeah.
So each agent gets their own landing page, as you were just looking at mine. It has all the information and the breakdown. If you are watching this video and you'd like to look at that, just let me know and I'll send you the link so that you can have a thorough investigation of that. But you will have one created just for yourself. So Owen, thanks so much for your time.
No problem. Thank you, Rob. And thank you, Victoria.